call the CDBG Citizens Advisory Committee to order. Like to do roll call. We'll start down with you, John.
Okay, John Rocha, present.
Janie Evans.
Debbie Savoini.
Marion Settles.
Deborah Miller.
And the only one we're missing is Sandy Griffith and
Tom Benson.
Tom Benson. So that takes care of that. And let's take care of our minutes, if everybody has read them. And any corrections on minutes from our April 19th, 2023 meeting?
Okay, for sure.
If not, I would like a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll go ahead and motion to accept the Citizens Advisory Committee April 19, 2023 minutes.
I need a second.
I second.
So John Rocha approved, Deborah Savoini seconded. All those in favor raised their hand, and that has been taken care of. Michael, it looks like presentation and discussion regarding Program 2023.
That is correct, Madam Chair. Today's meeting will be discussing the annual action plan, which was on the docket for our last meeting, and then move to vote to move it to City Council for final decision. Move forward with program year 2023. Just a reminder, if you are speaking, make sure you speak close to the mic. So it is, we are being recorded. And let me go into my first slide. We did approve the minutes. And let's go ahead and talk about the annual action plan for 2023. Did not receive any public comment. It was open for 30 days. Actually, the 30 days ends on the 19th, which I believe is this Friday. Yes, Friday is the last date. I have not received anything. Did receive comments from members regarding just the language of the annual action plan, made some changes to that. Except if you've read over the annual action plan, there's certain areas that don't quite, that kind of stand out. I'll give you an example. If you turn to, in the annual action plan in front of you, give you a page number. On page 11 out of 40, it's page 4 of the annual action plan. And I had a question from a couple of members about this.
Council members?
Yes, for committee members, I mean.
Oh, committee members.
Yeah. So number 2 summarizes the objectives and outcomes identified in the plan. Again, this is just an example of an issue. This could be a restatement of items or a table listed elsewhere in the plan, or a reference to another location. It may also contain any essential items from the housing and homeless needs assessment, the housing market analysis, or strategic plan. I didn't make that up. That's actually part of this, like a boilerplate. And you'll see some of this throughout the plan, and you'll look at it. That doesn't really make sense. What's he talking about? That's actually part of it. So I couldn't remove any of those parts for the committee members that had specific questions on some of those paragraphs. So if you flip to page 29 out of 40, or the annual action plan, page 22, you'll see the breakdown of our activities and projects, our funding recommendations that we made, that the committee made. And nothing there, of course, has changed. And really what the annual action plan is, when it goes up to the council, is it's the application, for CDBG to move into program year 2023 and work with HUD. So that is what we are sending to get approved by the city council. Just wanted to highlight those few sections, and then at this point, just open it up for questions. If anybody sees anything else in the annual action plan that they want to hone in on, or recommend any last minute changes before it goes up to council, I am here to listen to those questions.
Questions from members? It's your chance, John. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Where you mentioned some concerns from the committee members, one of them being in that executive summary. What other concerns were there? I don't know if that was like last meeting because I missed it, or was that via email, or
It was last meeting, and then just recommendations on where. I wish I had that exact thing, but it was more grammar than anything. So
okay.
There were no substantial changes to what was in the annual action plan. It was just suggestions on wording and grammar. So if that makes sense.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I have one question.
Deborah Miller.
Michael, you said that there were no comments this year on this plan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know in previous years, have there been comments?
Right. No, it doesn't look like. I mean, that's pretty standard public comment. We don't really hear anything.
Okay.
At least that, I've only been here this year, but I look back at the last couple of years, and it's rare.
It's rare. Okay.
So
Is that because, do you think it's the public's not aware that it's out there for a review, or they just?
yeah, I honestly I don't know. What we did where we posted it was on the city website. There was public notice in the newspaper.
Okay.
And then of course through these hearings and
Right.
and whatnot. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that was taken care of.
That is taken care of. End of discussion on the annual action plan for 2023. Next up is approval of the plan and moving it forward. So requesting a motion to move it forward to City Council.
So I need a motion to recommend this action. Come on, ladies.
I'll move.
Thank you, Deb.
I'll move to approve submitting the program year 2023 annual action plan to the City Council.
A second.
I'll second that. Janie Evans.
Janie, second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. So it's been moved and approved. Now, Michael, this goes to City Council.
That's correct. A voting session. We had it on the docket for May 23rd, which is next Tuesday. That might change. Is that
It's on the agenda, the draft agenda right now.
Okay.
okay? So, if it's not this upcoming Tuesday, it'll be hopefully on the following meeting. So.
Should we have any of our board at that meeting?
I'd appreciate it. Anybody that can make it. It's at 3. It starts at 3 p.m. The voting session here and on the third floor, and I think the annual action plan and the substantial amendment are both on it. I think it'll be closer towards we're at the end of the lineup, so. Like 3:30ish maybe, or yeah, or later. So
again, it's just support.
just support. Love to have anybody that can make it be there. And if the day changes, I'll make sure to let everybody know.
Okay.
So
All right. So next, I think some updates.
some staff announcements. Let me see here. Okay, so. The next CAC meeting we have scheduled for Wednesday, June 21st, back to our normal time at 1:30 p.m. We will, most likely be talking about Prescott Cares projects, maybe voting on Prescott Cares projects. What we're doing with the substantial amendment that was voted on in the last meeting was just to put it on the consolidated plan. We didn't put anything else with it. Like I know U.S. Vets and Polera Health were requesting funds. That wasn't part of the substantial amendment. Just to change the language of our 5-year consolidated plan, so we can do more with this Prescott Cares money. So once that gets approved, then I'll bring it back to the committee to figure out what y'all would like to do with those monies. So, and it's about 250,000 roughly is the balance existing in our Prescott Cares COVID money. Any questions about that aspect of it, the substantial amendment? And
You said 250,000 left, and that was COVID money, was it?
that's correct.
And we have a little bit of time to spend that money.
That is correct. That something else that changed in the last committee meeting was initially we were supposed to spend up to 80% by next March. HUD got rid of that. So we have till 2027 to spend it all. And hopefully we spend it sooner than that. Get it done.
I would tend to think you'd like to spend it sooner because you're dealing with the government.
Yes.
You may not
Yes.
have
that is correct.
27.
That is correct. So
What do you sort of have, and with the chamber and such, what do you have as a plan to spend that money?
So talking with Sherry Heine with the Chamber of Commerce Foundation, some of it, we were thinking about the previous programs, which was micro businesses, small businesses support. This money can be used, it's not just COVID, it can also be preemptive for future pandemics. Okay.
Right, right.
The other half was associated with individuals, low and moderate income individuals needing rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. I don't know how much of that's still out there. The big projects, U.S. Vets and what they're trying to do, as well as Polera Health's construction project on Sandretto. Those would take a pretty big chunk, out of what's left, and hopefully spend it pretty quick. Just a quick note: the minor home repair that Sherry is kind of running here with the city's support is doing great, and she is in it to win it. I guess she is doing something almost every day with minor home repair, and people are hearing about it. We're helping people, and hopefully we can do the same with Prescott Cares once we're more flexible, and that really opens up for us. So,
Do we remember how much?
Of course
do we
we
remember
do.
how much Polera and U.S. Vets as a whole was asking for out of that Prescott Cares?
right, I think it was in between. Combined 130 to 150,000. Polera was asking for around 50,000, and U.S. Vets was closer to 100. Is what I just recalling from my memory.
Okay.
So, and still, I think it's important to get a bit more clarity around the U.S. Vets and what they were planning to do. Polera is pretty straightforward. With a construction project, kind of quarantine space. U.S. Vets was a little bit unclear, I felt, so might need a bit more clarification on that specifically.
Okay. John?
Sorry, follow up here. How much money have we funded towards the minor repair program, home repair?
It's
Initially the 50, right?
It was 50. I think I'll have to look at it, but we're closing in on that 50. I think we're around 40,000, so.
Is there any way that maybe we can get some sort of a report from Sherry because obviously I take your word for it that it's doing great and being very successful. It'd probably be nice to maybe see how well it's doing if we can get some numbers and how many folks have been helped, what's the typical cost repair, that kind of stuff. I think that would help us quite a bit to figure out what Prescott Cares funds can go towards or not. At least that'd be my
No,
recommendation.
I
yeah.
agree.
Just to look at it.
Well, I think we need to know what that amount is every other month, monthly, some kind.
Yeah.
How much is pulling from that? What have we got left? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Right. And remembering that the minor home repair is just regular CDBG. With the Prescott Cares, kind of it's different. And that's really dry. I think our last application was in the fall. I mean, I haven't dealt personally in this position with Prescott Cares at all. The last application, I think, was sometime in the fall. So
you're saying that Prescott Cares funds would most likely not be able to be utilized for
minor home repair.
home repair.
No.
Okay.
Be separate. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the neat things about this CDBG is, in a lot of cities, towns have these kind of rehab, small, minor home repair programs. It's pretty popular. Once the citizens hear about it, all of a sudden it starts to really do some good.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Deborah?
Michael, do you know if any of the money that was allocated in the state budget for the home budget for now, the people who are looking for homes and that, is any of that then going to trickle down to the cities for them to put in programs like this, the minor home repair?
Oh, I don't know that. I'll have to look into that. You're talking the state of Arizona? Okay. I'll have to look into that.
Because I know that they did line item out a substantial amount for affordable housing and home. So if we could look into possibly, can the city be in line for some of those for a minor home repair program, that would be awesome.
For sure.
I would think we'd probably be on the bottom page, but it goes to the most first and then comes down. But it'd be nice to let them know we're asking.
Right. Kind of squeaky wheel it.
Right. Absolutely. Always looking for different opportunities. There's other projects with HUD trying to figure out, if those are viable. But absolutely. So, any other questions?
Any other staff announcements?
The only other thing I was going to bring to the committee, the last thing was I have started outreach to the community, thinking of next year, program year 2024. Sat in a non-for-profit meeting, but open to suggestions, advice, anything like that to kind of get the word out about this program. If anybody has any ideas of if there's community get-togethers or anything like that, I'd love to hear it. Either in this forum or away. So just trying to figure out how to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Madam Chair. So, did you by any chance assume some of those resources from like Michelle?
Mm-hmm.
Like, 'cause I know Michelle had several lists and ongoing lists of kind of, of who she would reach out to. I mean, obviously starting there, it sounds like you're already there. And then there's a couple meetings that take place. One of them used to be the collective impact meeting, where local nonprofits meet, I think once a month. US Fed, CCJ, just a lot of folks in that room. And maybe that's a good start for you, Mike, is to kind of go in there and and I'd be curious. I mean, I'd be shocked if they wouldn't know about the program. I think it would behoove us a little bit to figure out what are the barriers, if you will, of not wanting to apply for the program.
Right.
I think we kind of revisit this every year.
Michael, Tell John.
Yeah, that was one of the meetings, right? Where I was in there. I'm trying to get my face out there as much as possible,
Okay.
and making an introduction. Saying, telling the community who I am,
And there are the vast number in that collective service. I've attended 2 of them, and John was the last one, and before
Yeah.
John was the city attorney. So they're looking, but those groups again have to go through this HUD process.
Yeah, it's
It is
intense.
not easy.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
obstacle course, but if you just stay with it,
Right.
it comes to fruition, and it depends who's going to do that. Are they going to stay for the full time? There's a lot of stuff in it, but I suggest you hit that one as many times as you can,
Okay,
Michael,
for
because
sure.
it changes. Not everybody comes to the same. They're new people, new organization.
And I've been trying to call. I reached out to Meals for Wheels. It looks like they were a past subrecipient a few years ago. Carol Benedict with US Vets has been a really great resource. Just as much as I can do, so.
Was there a fairly good record keeping as far as maybe just even an Excel sheet of all the past, say, applicants or?
Yes, there actually was. I've only talked with Michelle once, very much after the fact, but I thought she did a great job with keeping everything organized and on the computer. I mean, a savior there in a lot of ways. So all those contacts are in it. Some of it needs to be updated, but for the most part, everything was there. So really
You've only
appreciated
talked to her
that.
once.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'd call him.
I can't
Where's
remember-
this?
yeah,
What
I
did you do with that? Who is this?
I can't
What does this
remember.
sticky mean?
I can't remember what I called her about, but yes. So,
What-
mail. She received mail, so I had to ask if she still wanted her mail. That was it.
What one last idea is maybe how about talking to Sherry about? I mean, folks came through the Prescott Cares program, maybe not in just insane volume, but enough in there to maybe she has a list or maybe something where we go,
No, that's
hey,
a good idea.
You're kind of the face of the Prescott Cares program from the chamber side when you were facilitating it. Would you mind blasting out some email or getting
Absolutely.
people at least stimulated to look into this 2024 CDBG program? It might be low-hanging fruit there.
Yeah,
I
that
can't think of anything else.
Yeah, super. Sherry's been Sherry Heine's been a huge resource and really knows the community, and absolutely.
And Madam Chair, I have one question on this. Michael, do we know, or do you have in your head an idea of when you want to start the process for getting people aware that it's going to open up again? This is how an orientation. Do you have a date specific for that?
So we have a scheduled needs workshop. I believe it's October. And I'll start getting all the marketing material together. And again, fortunate Michelle had a lot of that stuff, so be a lot of copy and pasting. And then let's see, late November, December is the actual workshop for potential subrecipients applying. So October will be the first big kind of push to get people together and talk CDBG for program year 2024. So excited. Yeah.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Hopefully I'll have a better idea what's going on.
So any other input from board? Anything else?
Yeah.
So on this agenda, at the bottom of this agenda, I thought there was going to be some discussion about upon a public majority vote of a quorum of the board may hold. What? That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay.
What is this about?
So, right. Okay. Let me do my best. So this is this whole section here has been added by the city clerk's office, and you're absolutely right. This wasn't something on our agendas in the past. So this is stuff specifically for that, per the city clerk's office, to keep everything streamlined, everybody on the same page. So all the committees will have this sort of language at the end of the agenda. I don't know. That's the best.
So,
Following the same format as city council is what they're trying to do.
so then this made me think
Okay.
that when the applications are taken to this small 3-person committee, are we in violation of this stuff?
It's
This-
subcommittee. you're
This
discussing.
subcommittee? Are we in violation because we haven't posted that committee is meeting, that doesn't meet some of these reasons for having it be a closed? I'm just kind of posing the question.
I
Not,
like it.
All right. Let's see. Gonna learn from the pros.
Since we're being broad, I don't know if that's working or not.
I think it's on. Is it
Yeah,
green?
it's on.
Since we're being broadcast and this is a public meeting, the answer is no. What this does, because we've changed some of the software we use, and what this does is it creates this process for holding an executive session. That's an entirely different thing than what you're talking about. Having subcommittee meetings are under different rules.
okay.
That particular line item is only a very unusual circumstance where you need city attorney advice as a body.
Good question.
That's all that's for.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you, George. Saves the day.
Okay, we're in line. We've done what we're supposed to. Then I would simply like to add to the board members, if possible, try to make that May 23rd council meeting with this CDBG plan, and it's mostly just to be there. A face is part of the board. You'll be recognized in the audience as being part of the board. Stand up kind of deal. It just sort of focuses, it gives this committee a little bit more credibility when you show up and you do such. Again, it's volunteer and everybody's busy and you got things to do, but if you can give them 15, 20 minutes, they can leave. It's done and one and done. So that's
And-
my addition.
Was it June or May?
It is May the 23rd.
Got
Next
it.
Tuesday.
Okay.
It's at 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
3 p.m. is when it starts.
And you think our portion will come up about 3:30?
Maybe later. Or later.
Okay.
So.
Well, Jenny, you get to sit in this room and see how this council functions.
Yeah.
See everybody's forehead from.
Madam Chair, I have one question for Michael. Michael, when will you know if the agenda item for this is pulled and put on the next meeting for May 30th?
Good question.
Yeah, by Friday.
By Friday, okay.
By
And then you
Friday.
will let us know by email that
Perfect.
Yes,
has
ma'am.
been, so we can make changes in our schedules if we need to. Great.
Absolutely,
Got
absolutely.
that part.
Yeah.
I agree. So, with question mark on the 23rd.
That's correct.
Okay, then you'll leave it. So, that's all I've got. Looks like we're good. Anything else from you?
That is it.
Then I would make a motion, I would ask for a motion that we adjourn, and I've got 1:28.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I will second that motion.
motion was made by Deborah Miller, the second was Deborah Savawini. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we're done.
All right. Thank you.